Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and this video will be my annual wish list. It's one of my favorite videos to watch from other channels, and it's a really fun one for me to make. How I've always done this video is to do a bit of a recap of my wish list last year. The checks are the items that I got, the X's are the items that I no longer want, and anything with neither are things that have carried over to this year's wish list. So let's start with number one, the Louis Vuitton Clay. I got this very early in the year, right after an increase. I was a little annoyed about it. I talked about why I was so annoyed in that video. Despite my annoyance, I will say I'm so happy that I got it. As much as I complain about LV, no one does SLGs like Louis Vuitton. This is actually a replacement clay. I lost my original one, so I went without this piece for a few years, and now that I've switched back into it, I'm reminded of how much I love it, and I'm actually considering getting a backup. Let's move on to number two, which is the Hermes Echappee sandals. I'm not going to say too much about this because I waxed poetic about these shoes in my last video, so suffice to say I'm loving them. Number three is the Hermes Constance, also in that aforementioned video, which was my top 3 items of 2022, and shockingly this made it on the list. So happy that I got this, and the combination of the mauve Sylvestre with the rose gold hardware is exquisite. On the opposite end of the spectrum is number 5, which is the Louis Vuitton Toiletry Pouch 26. This, I believe, is now a discontinued item. I asked for this earlier in the year. I wasn't able to get it. This was an item that I had many years ago and I sold because the canvas cracked, so I thought I would give it a go again, but it's since been discontinued, and I actually forgot this was even on my wish list. And for me, that's a sign of something I definitely do not want, and I certainly don't need, if I can so easily forget about its existence. Number 6 was the number 1 item on my wish list for 2022, and I'm so happy that I got it finally after more than a year and a half. It is the Hermes Kelly 25 in the exact combination, and the only combination that I requested, black Epsom Cellier with palladium hardware. There's not too much to say about this other than I am so happy that I got it. Number 8, I got the Tiffany espresso cups, which I am using as little wash cups in my bathrooms. I put one in my daughter's bathroom and she has not broken it yet. It's been a couple of months, so there's hope for her yet. Years ago, I bought the original coffee cups and I hadn't even used them yet. They were just sitting on my kitchen counter and she broke one. Number 10, I also got this mini Louis Vuitton trunk. I've talked a lot about how I feel about luxury home pieces. This is a magnificent piece of Louis Vuitton history, but also a really beautiful decor item in a home. And the last item that I got on my wish list is the Hermes Kelly belt in etoupe with gold hardware. I wanted this to match my Birkin 25 and I love it. So all of the items that you see without a check or an X are still on my wish list, and I'll tell you more about them a little later. So now let's move on to my 2023 wish list. So let's start with fine jewelry. If you follow my channel, you may have noticed that I didn't get any of the fine jewelry pieces that were on my 2022 wish list. There are a couple of reasons for that. Firstly, I was really indecisive about what pieces I wanted to get, but to be honest, I didn't try very hard to figure that out because I diverted the money that I would have otherwise spent on fine jewelry to clothes, which was an actual need that I had. However, now that I've replenished my wardrobe, especially the fall winter items, I think that I can focus on getting a couple of fine jewelry pieces this year. The first is a tennis necklace, not from any luxury designer house. This will likely be unbranded from a local jeweler, or if I can find a really good deal at a department store, but this is something that I've wanted for at least 2 to 3 years. I also really want to get a ring, possibly 2 this year. Over the last year, I've tried on a number of rings, but it wasn't until one of my subscribers who knew I was looking for a ring DM'd me a picture of the Hermes Echappee ring, and I was immediately drawn to it. But it wasn't until I saw someone wearing it when I went to visit the new Madison Avenue boutique that I completely fell in love. It's sort of an abstract take on the Chandon. It comes with or without diamonds, and Normally I don't like yellow or rose gold with diamonds, but in this case I think this ring looks better with diamonds. So after a year of trying on various rings, I think that I'm pretty certain that I want this ring. Secondly, I have been diligently looking for a statement ring, a bold, chunky piece. I was looking at the Bulgari B01 ring, the one with 3 bands in yellow gold, rose gold, and white gold. And I was pretty certain that I would get this ring until one of my subscribers, and you guys are a wealth of information, pointed out that this ring cannot be sized. So if you gain weight, lose weight, want to pass it on, you can't really adjust the size of this ring without ruining the design. So as much as I love this ring, I had to pass, and I found a ring that I like just as much, and that is the Boucheron Quatre ring. It's solid gold, it's chunky and statementy without being too much for every day. I'm not sure if I've ever mentioned this, but for fine jewelry, all of my pieces that I buy are everyday pieces, but versatile enough that I could wear them for any occasion. If I ever want something over the top and blingy, that's when I would turn to costume jewelry. I tried this ring on at Bergdorf's and know that I love it. They didn't have my size in stock. There's a good possibility that I'm going to Europe later this year. It's not a shopping trip, but I do think this would be a really great souvenir for that trip. It's small, won't take up a lot of room to bring back, and it's at least $1,000 cheaper in Europe. I'm really happy to say that I've narrowed down the 2 fine jewelry rings that I would like to focus on. And last up for fine jewelry is more of a lifetime wish list piece. I always say this with my wish lists. They're not necessarily for a particular year. It's more of a lifetime wish list. And I would like the VCA diamond perlee bracelet. Not this year and probably not next year either, just because it's so expensive. But I've said to myself time and time again, if I don't buy bags for a couple of years, this is exactly what I would get instead. Shout out to the new Tiffany lock bracelet that's kind of giving this VCA bracelet a run for its money. I have seen it in person. I haven't tried it on yet. It's already had a price increase, but it's about half the price of the VCA, and it looks really well made and luxurious. So the next time I'm in Tiffany, I'm definitely going to try that bracelet on in the white gold with the half pave. But for now, the VCA remains on my wish list. It hasn't yet been replaced. Next is a general category of ready to wear and shoes. In terms of clothes, since I got so many fall winter ready to wear pieces last year, I think I'm pretty good on clothing, other than I'd like some really nice quality t-shirts for summer. I know I have a picture of the Hermes t-shirt here, but I'm not wedded to the idea of them being from Hermes, so I'll try on from various brands and see which ones I like the best. For shoes, I also plan to keep an open mind and see what speaks to me throughout the year, but there are 3 specific pairs that I have my eye on right now. The first is a pair of sandals in the etoupe color. I know that Hermes has etoupe oran sandals, and I have used all of my willpower not to buy them because although I like oran sandals, they're not my favorite shoes from Hermes, and I don't want to collect them in various colors, so I waited all year for Hermes to come out with any sandals other than orans in the etoupe color, and they have not. I asked my SA and she has no knowledge of any other etoupe sandals, so I may just bite the bullet and get the orans because I really want sandals to match my etoupe Birkin in the summer, but just being honest, they wouldn't be my first choice. I also really want the Hermes free sneakers in the natural colorway. They have not come to the US yet, but I'm hopeful that they will because I've seen them on the website of various European countries. I want these Hermes sneakers because I have been looking for the brown and white Nike Dunks for about a year. I think they would look so perfect with my gold Birkin, but I haven't been able to find them in my size except for once, and the markup was crazy. So if I'm gonna pay a ridiculous amount for sneakers, I would rather get Hermes sneakers. I thought I'd mention that because I do think it's kind of funny that I want the Hermes sneakers as a dupe for the Nikes. And the only other pair of shoes that I want are these Chanel sneakers. Fun fact, I actually bought these sneakers. They didn't have my size in stock, so I ordered them and paid for them, and they were supposed to be shipped to me, but Chanel canceled my order. They didn't tell me they canceled my order. I just never got the sneakers, and one day a refund showed up on my credit card. I still still love these sneakers, so if I can find them in my size and I don't have to order them, that would be great. That being said, I have nothing more to say about Chanel. Let's talk home and decor. My next item is the Louis Vuitton Coffret Tresor in the size 24. I got the size 20 last year and I really love this mini trunk, so much so that I want another to stack with it. Every time I go into Louis Vuitton, I look at how these two stack together and it is perfect. I'll be honest, I did try to cheap out and look for a smaller box to stack on top of the 20 to save money, and I did a poll on my Instagram and you guys agreed that the 20 and the 24 look best when stacked. Another home item, I am looking for 6 bread and butter plates along with 6 small bowls to add to a collection of vintage Thai celadon plates in which I broke all of the bread and butter plates and the bowls. So I haven't narrowed it down to a particular brand or style yet. All I know is that I need bread and butter plates that are approximately 6 to 6.5 inches. So I'll look at Dior and Versace and of course Hermes, but I think this is a great opportunity to mix in some luxury elements to this vintage table setting. If I do manage to find and buy these plates, I will give you all of the details about how I came to own this vintage table setting and what happened to the original plates and bowls. Last on my wish list are bags, and honestly there isn't that much to say. I do still want the Goyard Artois bag that has been on my wish list for at least 5 years. I've said that I only would buy it from Europe, but the last time I went to Europe I still didn't buy it, and that's because this would be a replacement for my Longchamp Les Pliages, but I got that bag repaired. I will make a video about that at some point this year. And I said I would only get it in Europe because the price difference is so great, but I know Goyard has had several price increases. I don't know what the price for this bag is right now, but it may very well be that the prices are on par with the US, in which case when my Longchamp bag finally bites the dust, this will be the replacement, but I'm not in any hurry to get it. Now let's talk Hermes bags. I said this last year and I'll say it again, with the exception of one bag, I'm not really sure that I want many more Hermes bags. I'm at the point where I know that I don't want to collect Hermes bags in a variety of different colors because they would get very little use, but I still really love Hermes bags. So the one bag that I know for sure that I want, and I've spoken about this bag many times, I'm not going to go on about it again, and that is the Nata Mini Kelly. It was second on my wish list last year. I didn't get it, but suffice to say, it's still on my wish list. But other than that, I'm not sure that I want any more Hermes bags. So all that I can say about other bags is that I will leave room for a surprise bag, whether that's with my essay here in the US, or if I happen to get a 1 in 10,000 lottery appointment in Paris and they just happen to have a bag that I'm interested in. But I'm not interested in pursuing any more Hermes bags, which means other than the Mini Kelly, I'm not putting any more bags on my wish list in the US with my own essay, or if I'm in France, all that I'm willing to do is apply for the leather appointment online. I'm not going to ask for any cancellation appointments or shop with the intent of trying to finagle an appointment through an essay. I have a really nice collection of Hermes bags in various sizes and configurations, so unless I'm planning to collect a rainbow of these bags, at some point enough is enough, and I'm kind of getting to that point. That being said, through conversations, my essay knows the kinds of bags that I like, so it's not inconceivable that one of these bags could be just offered to me. But if you've watched my channel before, it is very rare that I get surprise offers from my essay. So if I were a betting woman, I'd wager that none of these bags are going to magically come my way because they're not on my wish list, and also the chances of me getting an online lottery appointment in France are pretty slim. I was going to share with you the bags that I would consider if they were offered to me and why I haven't put them on my wish list yet, but that would make this video entirely too long, and you guys know I like to give detailed explanations about everything. So what I'll do is make a separate video about those bags, so stay tuned for that. But for now, now, all I'll say is that I am saving room for one mystery bag. So let me know what you think of my wish list. Does anything surprise you? And what do you think about my lack of interest in pursuing more Hermes bags? I still love the brand, and even after I stop buying bags, I will still buy those things that a lot of people only buy to get the bags. But at this point, I'm more interested in Hermes for home and fine jewelry and ready to wear than I am in bags, which I know is the complete opposite of everyone else. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel. That would make my day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.